All right, so it's 6 o'clock on Thursday, April the 7th, right? And I'm going to call to order our regular meeting. First thing is set adjust agenda. Does anybody have anything that needs to be added, subtracted? Casey does.
Okay. We need to add an item number 12.
Oh, good.
To discuss the ARPA public hearings and electing to take the standard allowance for revenue loss.
Yep. Anything else?
Exactly what I thought.
Do we have a motion to amend the agenda to add them in? Thank you.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right, excellent. That's everyone. So we have an adjusted agenda. Next, communication from the audience. I think,
Yes, we have Emily, Varver, and Cole. Emily's on Zoom, and they were appointed to the Recreation Committee and the DRB at the last meeting, but were unable to attend, so they just came. The board had wanted to meet them, so
so they're here now.
they're here now to introduce themselves.
So I can start. I'm Cole. Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for putting me on and giving me the opportunity to serve. I'm really excited. We had our first meeting yesterday and that went pretty well.
Thank you for raising your hand.
Yeah.
Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you for coming in.
Good to meet you all and see everyone's faces too.
So I wasn't here last time, so that's
Okay.
Rec Committee or DRB? DRB.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and you enjoyed the DRB meeting?
I did enjoy
Excellent.
it. Yes.
Good. Glad to hear it.
It was a good one too.
It was, yeah. I mean,
Exciting.
I'm interested in all that stuff, so I'm, happy
Yeah.
to be, at the front of that, discussion.
You have an interest in that?
Yeah, development and building and,
Yep.
yeah.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for serving the town.
Thank you.
All right, and online we have, is it Emily who's on?
Yes.
Hi, Emily.
I think you're on mute. If you're on a phone, just press *6.
Or she froze.
I think she's froze.
She looks froze.
Or she's not on the phone with us.
Well, she can hear us, thank you.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, this is funny.
Just press *6 if
she
you're on
must
a
have
phone.
internet outside of the village.
Dang it.
She's just saying son of a gun ski right now.
Oh,
There you
Hi.
are.
hi, Emily.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for volunteering.
Oh, of course.
So this is the recommended, correct?
So you were, I missed last meeting, so you were appointed to the Rec Committee, is that correct?
That is correct.
Excellent. Good.
So what makes you want to be part of the rec committee?
She already.
Take her over.
So I was actually on the rec committee last year for a little while, and then I had a job that kind of made it so I couldn't attend meetings. I'm so sorry, my dogs are barking so loud. And so anyway, so now I'm no longer in that position where I need to be away at the time the meetings are at, so I joined up again. So other than that, I'm a recreation therapist in the area, so it's my field of work and education, so just wanted to be on the committee, help out.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Sure.
All right. All right, we're gonna roll. Feel free to stay or go as you wish.
Can I leave?
No. Any other communication from the audience? Hearing none, we're gonna roll right into approving minutes from last time, which was March the 17th. I was not here.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion, changes? Minutes look good. I appreciate the minutes. All in favor of approving the minutes as written, please say aye.
Aye.
That's 3. I abstained because I wasn't here. Kaylee?
Haley also was
Yeah,
not here.
good. All right, motion carries. Minutes approved. Next, town manager's report given by Mr. Upson.
All right, I kept it short and sweet because we got a lot of other stuff going on, and I'm sure we can have some discussion on this. Meeting with a new landscape architect from the SE Group, which is a big architectural firm in Burlington area, to discuss taking over the pedestrian bridge project. They have been provided with all the preliminary information. That land work's completed, and are meeting with their team to discuss whether or not they want to take the project on. That meeting was today. So hopefully I'll hear tomorrow or early next week if they're willing to do this, which would be a huge plus with the minor, with the setback from land works. So this will push us in the right direction. There was, we had a good conversation today on the phone. There were a lot of questions. We provided them with a lot of information. So
Have
they're,
they done something like this before?
yeah, they've actually, the footbridge in Middlebury is a project they worked on.
SE Group is a national.
Yeah, they have they're based
Out west.
Burlington, Utah, and Colorado, I think. And their focus is recreation. So it kind of fits in
Yeah.
with what we're doing. We're trying
I
to do.
think they were the ones that did the town forest plan deal. we went through.
Yep.
That's true. Yep. Drew.
Noah Pollock.
Oh, Noah?
I think
Drew,
he's,
yeah,
he's
yeah, that's right.
Yep.
And we also spoke with USDA folks about the bridge too.
Right, and that's what they basically said, we need to get this ball rolling.
Yep.
But they were advised that they were the ones that had the ball to begin with. They admitted it, which
Yeah.
is rare.
Yeah.
I had a second interview with the Community Development Coordinator candidate to discuss projects in town. We did a walk around. We checked out all the fun stuff happening in the downtown. I've asked for references, which I received today, and will be following up in the days ahead.
Great.
We re-advertised the position too. We put it out there for other candidates as well. And the Hardwick Neighbor to Neighbor Group had a kickoff meeting for the planning of Meet the New Town Manager community gatherings. The meeting went well, and we plan on having a second planning meeting on May 9th. There were approximately 30 people there,
Wow.
Wow.
so.
That's great.
Anybody you didn't know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
Good.
yeah, it's good.
Awesome.
And the candidate that you met with the second time lives in Hardwick,
Yes,
or East Hardwick.
yeah.
Which is also part of Hardwick.
Newer to the community, but still. Yeah, she doesn't live downtown. She lives in East Hardwick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a
I'm
plus.
advocating calling us this area South Hardwick, like it used
Like
to
it
be.
We are all
We're going
Hardwick.
back.
Pardon me?
We're going
We are
back.
Going back.
one. We are one, people.
We are one.
Going back to the future.
Just wanting to point out that it's
All right.
helpful to have someone who's actually in the community doing the work.
Yes, I
But yes,
agree.
it would be good to have someone in the community.
Right.
That would be a
Yeah,
huge
who's
plus.
already a professional and knows how to do it.
Definitely has a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So that's all not a bad thing. Yep.
No, that's all sounding promising.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Good.
Any questions for David? No? Thank you. That's good. That's a
This is
very,
great. This is great, yeah.
yeah, you win the prize for the concise report.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
I think.
This is a message to the public. There is a lot going on, and if you want more information, come down to my office. And I will find something for you to do.
Yes, because there is a lot. All right.
We did get a trash collector for one of Sherry's cohorts in the
A
community.
volunteer who
volunteer.
wants to see downtown looking better,
Yeah.
so he's picking
Oh.
up trash on a regular basis. I
Yeah.
saw him out there
Cool.
today.
We provided him with one of those elongated arm things.
Picker thing.
Nice.
Good work.
All right. All right, Tom, you're up next. Road foreman report. Tell us about the mud.
We don't have any more.
It's all
Bumps
gone.
now. Just bumps.
Just
now.
bumps and holes, that's
Yeah.
about it. We managed, of course, weather permitting. We only managed to get, I think, Macville area done this week. We're not concentrating on like our little smaller side roads right now. We're just trying to get the main drags, where it's mostly heavy traveled. We ended up Bunker, West Hill, that area, Marsh Road and Cape Rook. So of course then the rain came, so. We've been hauling more material in from the pits, from Danville, some more stay mat. Weather permitting next week, we'll be on Bridgman Hill area and then heading over towards Hardwick Farms area, over that way, and then hopefully it keeps going so we can get Ward Hill and Mountain View done. Everything's all pretty well firmed. There's still a few small wet spots here and there that we're dealing with, but nothing that's too major or anything. Talked to Pike today about paving, and they're pretty much, they'll give you a bid on paving, but like he said, there's gonna be a little wording in there saying if stuff keeps going up, you're gonna be responsible for the pricing.
Yep.
So that's where that's going, so they could come in at 100,000, we might end up paying 150.
Or
You know,
not getting
by
as
the time
much
they get that
done.
pavement. Right, either or. So I know we're dealing with Church Street. I told them we'll probably end up doing, or West Church. I told them I'd probably do that on a separate bid thing, so you guys can see the overall price of that. So compared to the other roads where we'll just do, you know, like an inch and a half shim on them and stuff, bring them back up. Water flushing, we'll be doing that the week of the 17th, right?
Already?
Yes. Week of the 18th? 18th, yeah, so a week and a half.
Really?
Well, spring break for the
Yeah.
kids, for the school, so they're out. So that's when we usually do it.
Is it?
Yep. So, all your stuff's been ordered for the sprinkler system. We'll be getting the details for the guy for the sprinklers on that same day, on that Monday.
That's what he said, that you
Yeah,
would,
yeah, so we should be all set on that. Hopefully here,
Oh, that's
still
the depot?
weather permitting, we're gonna start on the sidewalk project over here on Church Street,
Oh, remind me.
Right here.
right here.
I know where Church Street is, but
Widening the sidewalk
We got the-
and.
All the way from Maple Street Apartments, all the way down
grant
through.
that we got for the.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sure,
the
be
grant
That was part of
funding.
the grant we got like $40,000 in grant money for that.
Yeah?
But of course, that was same thing a year and a half ago.
Right.
When we got the
Right.
pricing on that,
$40,000,
so
that's-
Is that gonna connect or widen no?
what
It only
is there,
goes to
what is
apartments.
there? What's that?
It only goes to the Maple Street.
It's only on one side of the road, but I don't know.
Well,
This side or that side?
yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be both sides, but the way pricing is right now, the way things going through the roof, we'll start on the
Do one
main side
at a
over
time.
here.
Yep.
What,
for
this
Maple
side that
Street
we're on?
Apartments, yes,
Okay.
and we'll work our way down through.
On
the other
other side, right?
No, this
This
side,
side,
our side,
Maple Street apartment side.
yes,
Yeah,
Okay.
access to there.
yes.
That's,
Okay.
So we'll
Got
start
it.
on that, paving and patching. Of course, hot mix plant don't open up for another month, so. When we get it, we get it, but
Where are
we've
we
been
at
through
with
pretty close to.
crosswalks? We can talk about that.
Could ask him. He knows
What's
the crosswalk.
Where are we at with crosswalks?
Weather permitting, same thing, we'll do them in May. So,
So you have supplies or you don't?
what's that?
You have supplies or you do not?
We have some leftover white paint still that we're gonna use, so. But it's just like everything else that we've been ordering, been taking 3 months to get, so.
if they're gonna be paving over that
Tom, I
anyway.
had a quick question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Nate. No, just a follow-up question to that. Is there anything that we need to do this spring to, or not do in preparation for the repaving of the road? Like, are there crosswalks that we're not going to paint because V-Trans will be coming through, or anything we need to think about?
No, because I got like 15 gallons of white paint left. So we're not actually buying anything, so we'll mark what we can mark for what we have for downtown. We should be able to get all that done, so.
Do we know when V-Trans is planning?
No, Dave asked me if I could call up Hutchins, so I'll give him a call because he's the one that got the paving bid,
Oh, okay.
so.
Find out when they're planning to come through.
Yeah.
Great.
so.
Excellent. All right, questions for Tom?
What else did we do? Oh, we
And Tom,
got,
there were another setup question. There were a few other setups I believe proposed in East Hardwick. Do we have enough paint for those as well?
yes, I should have, Kaylee.
Crosswalk.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
She said sidewalk, she means
Yeah.
crosswalk.
I like crosswalks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, the sidewalks in East Hardwick could really use some love too.
Yeah, I saw, one thing at a time, one thing at a time.
We weren't gonna go by that.
Yeah.
One
So-
other thing too was, I had a question about a street sweeper. Are we gonna?
We're waiting for a response back.
We
Okay,
basically send it in with 3 choices of
Yeah.
weeks, and so we've sent that in, and then they'll let us know which week we get it. It'll be in May.
yeah.
So we're basically just gonna ignore that whole thing about trying to do a different pattern with the crosswalks because we canceled that order and we
Is
can't
that part
do
of
it.
it? Aren't they doing that with the paving project?
No, that
You
was
don't wanna do that
something that
before
we
you
were gonna
pave,
do.
do you?
bef-
What's that?
Yes, it was something that we were gonna do before the
We were gonna
paving
do it, but we
project
could not get the
in
paint.
order to try to.
We waited till the end of
determine-
September or October and I canceled the paint, because it was almost $1,000 and there was no idea when we were gonna get it. V-Trans, when they come through and do everything, they're gonna redo everything downtown, crosswalks, parking areas, everything, but they're gonna do it to their standards, which is white with the square bars that we do now.
So we're just gonna not do that.
Well, it's like they said, Sherry, that is the safest there is. For sightline and everything else, it's a white block pattern. So that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, it's just not what we agreed to try, but that's the way it is.
More questions on roads?
But we got all the bike racks put together today. Oh yeah, there's 6 of them. And then we got 2, what do you call them, kiosks?
Kiosk.
Those things, you better have a step ladder to. Oh, they're high.
Aren't they supposed to go like 3 feet in, or no? I don't
No,
know.
because the way they open is, there's 2 keys on top, and the whole thing folds down. So what you have right now, you can only put the post maybe in the ground like 9 inches. So you're definitely gonna need a step ladder to get up there and unlock those when you do them, so.
Okay.
But anyways,
Not it?
Yes.
so yeah,
I
so
don't
we're
do
either
that.
gonna have to pour concrete in the ground for them, because they come with anchor posts for anchor bolts. So we're gonna either have to have light department help us out to drill some holes, put sonotubes in and pour concrete for them, so.
But one of them's supposed to go in the little triangle part, so I'm
Uh-huh.
thinking we don't want to pour anything concrete. 'Cause
No.
It would have to be removed when we do the bridge project, so it'll be
Correct.
like a temporary thing.
Yes.
It'll go back after.
We can work the logistics out some other
Yeah,
time
some
in his
other-
office.
There we go. Sounds
What's
good.
next?
All right,
Use that tie it to the railing.
thank you. Moving on, police department report. We have Mike Henry here.
So one of the things we've been working on is trying to support the school with a lot of the youth that have been getting kicked out. They're trying to really crack down on the kids up there that are just not going to class, not attending class, just going to the bathrooms, vaping, selling vapes, that kind of thing. They're sending them out. So we've got them out in the street. So we're trying to do something with them, working with the jobs program, the link program, and a couple various other entities out there that are willing to kind of help out with that. We're trying to put together a program so that we can deal with those kids so they're not just off causing trouble. We've opened up the community side, except for on Thursdays, to some of these programs. So if they need to meet with these kids, if they've been expelled from school for whatever
Community
reason.
side of the police
Police
building?
department, yes.
Oh, great.
So we're trying to open up for them so that they can come in and use that with the kids. Still a work in progress with that, but that's the big thing we need to focus on right now.
These high school kids,
Yes,
kids that could easily be employed.
exactly. So, you know, the catch-all, the jobs program, they're good with that, but.
Yeah, I've worked with it before through my, you know,
Okay,
I've
so you
had
know
kids
that
through that.
unfortunately, the drawback to that is they've got to be either on an IEP or a 504 program
Yeah,
to get into that program. But the LINK program is going to be a little bit different. We're going to see what we can do to supplement the LINK program to help out with that as well.
Great.
yeah, so I would be interested in trying to figure out a way to get some of these kids to work.
That's what it sounds like he's working on.
Some of them also need a mentor,
Yeah,
an adult to hang out with for a couple hours.
well, as long as
There
they
you go,
can,
Jim.
Sounds like split
Dan.
wood.
And,
I'll mentor them all day long, I'll take half a dozen.
There we go, problem solved.
yeah,
No, but I've worked with,
that's not happening.
I know, but I've worked with, as a mentor before, and,
Yeah.
and I've also hired through the jobs program up there before, and
Mm-hmm.
it would be, so if there's any way that I can have help to.
Oh.
It's an important thing.
Yes, it is an important thing,
If you're gonna
so,
stand on the street on a Tuesday afternoon, you may as well be working
Right.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's the way life goes.
No.
So we'd be looking for volunteers as well for the mentor and that
Yep.
portion.
and we're moving along with that too, but that's,
Good job.
Separate. The other issue is with the vehicle. We had, back over a year ago, they ordered the Charger. And I'm not exactly sure, I guess it's somewhere in the States maybe, but we don't know where that stands. The problem that I have with the Charger is, especially right now, the ground clearance, and maybe Tom can answer this, what percentage of roads in Hardwick are, would you say, are dirt roads?
Oh, we got 55 miles of dirt.
Yeah. So, you know, having the low ground clearance of the Charger, it's a little less than what we have with Ford Interceptors right now. Concerned about that. Also the room inside. I am proposing to switch to
We
a
have this as a different.
Ford Explorer.
oh wait, that's item 6.
Oh, that's item 6.
Yeah, I put
Okay.
it as an item on the agenda, so, and I did a memo and everything, so.
All right.
Yeah,
Do that.
All right. So foreshadowing for item 6 to
Yeah.
come.
Item 6, yes.
way to give us a heads up.
Thanks.
Anything else?
Nothing else at this time.
Wow.
I want to be shorter than him.
I was gonna say, I think you may
You
have
guys are
captured
doing
the
you guys are
prize.
doing
Yeah,
good.
nice. Thank you.
Yep.
Questions for Mike? All right. Moving along, where are we? Item 1, select board to consider appointing Rose Friedman, to Hazen Union School Board, 1 year remaining on a 3-year term.
Yeah.
Do you wanna,
Motion or something?
Yeah, enlighten us.
stand up and say hello?
Hi. I'm Rose, and I live in the Independent Republic of East Hardwick.
Yeah,
And
there we go.
I have a daughter who's going to be in 7th grade at Hazen next year. I've got 2 kids, and you know, I'm pretty involved in a lot of different community groups and projects all the time. I've been team teaching a class up at Hazen, the Recipe for Human Connection class, this semester, and I've been really, really enjoying it. And, you know, always been a little intimidated of going into that school, just the usual intimidation of being in high school. I think it, you know, maybe wasn't the best time for a lot of people. So, you know, being in there now in this teaching position, it's wonderful. I actually really, really love it, and I love the kids, and I see a lot of the challenges, and I see the incredible work that a lot of people are doing, and I want to know more, and I want to know more about how the school and the community can connect to each other. For, you know, my own reasons of all the different projects that I'm doing, and as a parent, to make it work better, make it easier for students and faculty. As a theater maker, I of course have that particular interest of what can we do to support more arts programming, but I'm also really interested in what we can do to support just kids loving Hardwick, which seems like a pretty easy place to love, and I want to figure out ways that we can do more of that stuff together, more of those projects that I'm doing out there, and bring them in there and bring the kids out to the community. And yeah, so I saw the 1-year slot, and I reached out to Andrew Meyer, and he said he would consider it. No, he said, please do it. So that's why I'm here.
Great, thank you,
Yeah.
Rose. Questions for Rose?
Thank you.
I'd like to move to appoint Rose Friedman to the seat, that he says school board seat.
Second?
There we go. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Hi.
Thanks, Rose.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous, motion carries. Thank you so much, and thanks for coming in, and thanks for stepping up for the Hazen board. It's super important for all kinds of reasons. Some of them we're hearing tonight, and yeah, it's great.
Thanks, everybody.
Next, item 2, select board to consider appointing Lana Lawson, Emily Hale, and Samantha Collins to the Hardwick Rec Committee. Hi.
Do 2 out of 3 here.
2 out of 3. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Samantha, and this is something we've been talking about for a while between the two of us. And then we have littles, and we're starting to be able to enjoy like the Macville playground and going to the Egg Con. And those things don't exist if people don't help put them on, so why not us?
Great.
Yeah, we grew up in Hardwick, so we have a love for Hardwick.
Great. Yeah, and the rec committee does need people, or did last time.
Yes,
anyway.
they're full now.
Full now.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
That's good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Haley, you're on the rec committee, is Haley not, is there a select board member that goes to those now?
What's that?
The
Rec
rec
committee.
committee?
I went 2 meetings ago.
But do we have select board?
Yeah, Kaylee's still on.
Oh,
Kaylee's
select-
on,
We used
yeah.
to.
I was on the committee, yes.
Are you
I
still?
was, but I think I need to check in with Casey, but if I still am. I don't know if I was appointed to be that at our.
Well, if you weren't, you will be.
That's right.
It's exciting time.
Maybe volunteering.
Yeah, no, it is, it
Well,
is an
I
exciting time.
I would just as soon not be, because Emily and Samantha are my daughters, so.
No, I'm happy to be, especially since I work for the school, so.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be, I can talk to Casey and Jason about that. I'm not sure if there's room for me anymore, but it'd be great to have a select board member on there.
So
There's
that's what
room.
my thought is as well, because it's
no
really an
limit.
exciting time right now to have all this interest in the committee, and there's really a lot of available funding and things that are out there right now, so it's important that we do this, for
So,
sure.
so, do people have questions for Emily or Samantha while they're here?
It's all good.
Thank you for
Good,
coming.
yes.
Do we need a motion?
Motion to, yeah.
To make them on the, yeah.
Now, Lana wasn't here, but she did submit a letter, so.
Yes, she did.
I did invite her, and
I can vouch for Lana.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
I know
can.
her too. I know her
Make
as well.
the motion that we appoint Lana, Emily, and Samantha to the Hardwick Recreation Committee.
Second?
Any more discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Her father probably didn't make her come.
Excellent, that's everybody. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Next is item 3, the board to consider approving a memorandum of understanding with Neckharts regarding the townhouse renovations.
Is that in here? I don't see
I
it.
read it and it was in our folder online.
Right.
it should be in the packet too.
I saw it.
I don't know, there's a lot of
Yes,
papers.
Here it is.
We're midway.
We need a motion to get this thing rolling.
Yeah, right there. Look at that. Right on top.
Oh, it's on top.
I passed it.
Yeah, so, right, I thought it looked pretty straightforward.
Myself as well.
Okay,
Yeah, we
You want-
just, the board felt that it's such a big project. It's our
agree,
biggest
yep.
project ever, and
yeah, might as well have some
just
clarity.
feels like
No.
yeah, we should make sure the lines of communication are open.
Crystal clear, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
good
great.
idea. It's great. I agreed. I read it and was very pleased.
Yeah,
It was in writing.
you gonna make a motion?
Make a motion to, approve, sign, whatever we have to do.
Oh, how
To
about,
authorize the town manager.
that's who
Authorize the
authorized,
town.
yes.
Yeah, and that
Yeah,
way.
make a motion, we authorize the town manager to sign the memorandum of understanding with Neckharts for the townhouse construction project.
Second?
Excellent, any discussion? I have one question, is there a date for, or what's the timeline? Oh,
Because
let's
of
do the vote first.
Because of the cost, the
People forget.
timeline is unknown right now.
Okay, But you're working on it.
We're working on it.
Got it.
This sign, is that,
That's not involved with this, it's separate.
right, but is that happening soon?
The sign is something that's
Sweet.
gonna be happening, we can talk about it.
Okay.
Talk about it in new business.
So we have a motion on the table to authorize the town manager to sign the MOU. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Should I abstain, or do
All right, I'm sorry.
You can,
I
was
need
looking
to
at these
abstain
numbers, like,
for any
whoa.
reason?
are you also on the neck arts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the
Yeah,
president.
I think abstaining is not a bad idea.
I'll abstain.
All right, so that's.
Kaylee said aye.
Kaylee said aye, so
Danny
we had
said aye.
4 ayes and the abstention, just, I guess, yeah, I mean,
Just does.
just cause, to avoid any appearance of conflict of interest, right? All right, next is, oh, I like how item 4 says it's telling us there's gonna be a brief discussion about the dog licenses and how many unlicensed dogs there are in the community.
So I did a little memo.
Saw the memo,
Tanya and I have been chatting about it. Basically, need to figure out, the police department isn't in a position to go out and do this
Right.
right now.
And we
We
don't
don't
have-
have an animal control officer. We have advertised for it.
Yeah.
And so clearly, I don't think we have 200 to 300 less dogs than we had in 2019. So we're just trying to figure out what we can do to enforce this. It's a state statute, it's not really, you know, but anyway, Tanya's came up with the option of, you know, doing a mailing to like these past owners that have not.
Reminder.
Yeah.
we noticed.
I mean, that's,
I did a list from 2018, I actually shrank it to 2019, because that was the last time we sent the animal control officer out for pretty much before COVID.
And I'm just thinking a list of all those from then up until now that have it and sent them. So it'd be about a little over 200 people to mail just a letter to say,
Yeah.
you know, if you haven't, please come.
Give 'em a little
If you don't
nudge.
have your
Yeah,
dog, you
so-
let us know that.
Yeah, what?
dogs, man.
And this also helps, like, I
Deal with dogs.
should add that this
Just
helps.
be a nice letter, make it nice, because if their dog's died,
I'm always nice.
I know.
Right.
You know, some dogs do die.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you no longer have this pet, please disregard, whatever.
Yeah.
Be
Just
nice
let us know.
about it.
And,
Yeah.
but this
Yeah.
also helps when your dog runs away and there's a license on it,
Yeah,
then we know whose dog it is.
Right.
We get phone calls from people asking and saying, you
Yeah.
know, we found this dog, it's got this tag number, and we got the phone number, give them a call.
So I'm notoriously late and need a reminder, so a letter
may well.
it
get
usually
some
does it
people.
for us, me, you know what I
Well,
mean? So-
another,
Pretty good sign.
something to remember is that when you come in, you have to have proof of rabies vaccination.
That
So,
is,
the
you know,
rabies
Have them
vaccination
know
has
the
to be.
amount, just send a little reminder.
I just had an idea. Didn't we used to have didn't Steve Sanford used to do like a rabies shot clinic?
Rabies clinic.
Yeah, that's right.
And so now you have to make an appointment to get your dog a shot. So maybe we talk to a vet that we can set up one of these and license the dog on the same day.
My town does that the first Saturday after town meeting.
Mm.
They do a
Rabies
rabies clinic.
Yeah.
And then the town clerk is there
Yeah,
licensed
Town of
dogs at
Barry
the same
does it
time.
too, I know.
Yeah, I think
So,
that might be
Rabies
something
clinic.
we should look into.
We could try. it
Yeah,
and see
I mean, it'd be
that-
fine if
Did somebody
we
reach
didn't
out to
find
the
it bad.
vet?
That's a great
Just one
idea.
day for-
Yeah, it is.
Make a note of that one, we'll start.
It's a good idea. I also wonder if the letter that we send out could be printed on like a yellow or a colored piece of paper if they're late on their license. Sometimes that's a good, no, it could be pink, Danny, pink or blue.
Oh,
like
I hate it when I get my mail on, it's all colored. Never good. Oh, man,
Yellow mail from
So
HEB.
start with a letter.
yeah. Dang.
Start with a letter, but then, and also if somebody has the opportunity to reach out to
Yeah.
a vet.
Yeah, we'll do
I
that.
know.
And then I have a list of people that, so we wouldn't have to mail that we know personally, we could call or email, just save a little postage.
A little letter sometimes,
A letter will bring some results
yeah,
for
Yeah.
people who
Well,
are
it would seem to
chronically
be the
late.
practical next step.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I think it's a great idea. there endeth the brief discussion on dog licenses. All right, keep us posted. Oh, yes, Kaylee?
No, I was just thinking, I know this is maybe the right time, but I'm wondering if we could also repost the position again for the animal control officer.
It is posted on the website.
Or if there's,
It's posted on the
Or
website
there's a way-
currently, and then we put it on Front Porch Forum this week and last week. I'm not sure when the newspaper is effective. We can certainly try doing some paid advertising, like in papers, but.
I mean, you're really looking for somebody local, because it's not a job
Yeah.
that somebody's gonna travel for,
Right.
really,
So.
I think.
if we send a letter, or can we advertise it in the letter that we send to the 200 to 300 people?
Do we want to let them
By the way.
By the way, yeah.
Do we want to let them know?
Oh, yeah, maybe you don't wanna let them know
You want to
in that
flag
letter.
that? Yeah. Right. You have no one to enforce this, by the way.
You need to get this license, but
Yeah.
no one's gonna come knocking on your door if you don't.
All right, I'm gonna move us to item 5, Business Manager Casey Rowell to provide quarterly budget update through like yesterday almost, but it wasn't really, 3/31.
March 31st, yes. Okay, so I did my normal little chart here, which, as I explained before, the actual tax revenues, that's showing a billed amount right now. The budgeted amount of the 2.77 million is what we expect to receive. If we pretend that we're gonna actually get what we budgeted for, we would actually be at 90% right now. So we're slightly ahead of schedule on the revenues, but on track.
If you pretend that you,
So like this 5,385,000, that's a billed amount, because we'll
Yeah.
pay to the school.
Yeah.
So we just, if you plug the 2,777,000 that we anticipate receiving and keeping, then our percent collected would actually be 90% right now.
so we've already collected 90% of the municipal tax?
Of the
Not
budget.
quite, but I'm saying if we assume that we'll collect actual of 2.77 million and you
Yeah.
put that there, then the percentage collected is 90%, which, I mean, we're
Oh.
probably down to, we have like $1 million, $1.5 million, 2 million maybe for taxes. I should have got that figure from her left to collect, but, yes, so ultimately,
So not everybody waits until May 10th?
no.
Oh,
A fair amount of
Little bit.
quarterly payments. The escrow companies do quarterly payments too,
Oh.
so yes, so basically everything's pretty much on track, other than the two factors that we knew, which was the COPS grant. We haven't had an officer in that position for this fiscal year, and the Greensboro. Water and sewer revenues, I was able to get an update on. They're at 76 and 72% of budget respectively, so water's right on, sewer's a little bit low, but we do have delinquencies of about 31,000.
okay.
So yeah, really nothing too alarming at this
Right.
point. Looks,
Rolling.
We're on track
yeah, we're on track for the most part.
on the
yes.
revenue side.
Yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay.
Expenses. So currently, at 65.96. We would expect to be at 75, so that makes it, we're slightly under. If we back out the Greensboro revenue, we would be at 71% expense. So we're on track. The insurances have been paid for the remainder of the year, as well as some other things, the county taxes. So yeah, we're okay there too. We'll call it the 71%.
Good.
Yeah, it's looking everybody.
This is a good question for
Sure, go ahead.
for what's left in the building expense. We have school district has $9,600 remaining in the
Oh.
building expenditures. Is that encumbered, like you know what it's spent on? Or is that just generally
No,
less?
good,
Or
we'll
just
have to
spent
go.
at the
No.
beginning of the year?
We'll definitely spend some of it because it's operating cost, utilities, fuel, oil for all buildings. So yeah, we'll definitely spend some of that down. if not, yeah, probably at least 10 to 15,000 of that, I would say, would get spent down, if not all of it.
Yeah, so generally things are looking good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good management.
yeah.
Efficient work right there.
So,
A lot of it is just the way it is.
Yeah, that's true. But,
Good job anyway.
yes, no, but some of it is definitely managing to the budget. Some things you can't control, but some
Yeah,
things
this
you can.
report is really, really great too, Casey. Thanks for laying it out like this.
Yeah, that's super helpful.
and as you saw, I do give you the full detailed one, but that's not very friendly to look at in one of
No.
these meetings. So this is just an overall summary of everything that's in the 9-page details.
Right.
Yep, no, this
Yep.
is not,
Okay.
it's good, Casey.
Okay, great. No further questions? I feel like I
I'm
should
good.
say Your Honor. It's like, no further questions, Your Honor. Oh,
That's
goodness.
okay.
All right.
Yeah, he deserves it, you know. Anybody
I'll
at
do
the
the-
table does.
I'll assume you're talking to Wiz. Yeah. Good.
item.
I think that's great that we're on budget. Thank you, Casey. It's a good presentation too. Item 6, unfortunately, we just lost our 2 key players for item 6, but.
Casey can,
Yeah, I can.
she's been kept aware.
All right, so just to introduce it, we've got this issue of police cruiser. We'd ordered, previously ordered a Dodge Charger. Select Board had approved that, but,
And that would be for the current fiscal year. That was our cruiser purchase.
Which is almost over.
yeah, but the car's not here.
Right, it's been built and shipped from Canada, but we have no idea when it's going to arrive at the dealership. So we didn't do a deposit, but we did sort of commit to them and signed a build sheet and told them we wanted to move forward with that. Of course, we still don't have it. And then, of course, Mike had expressed his concerns about the ground clearance, and he was able to locate a dealership in Massachusetts that has several of the Interceptors. The cost of them is $6,400 more than the Charger. It's not apples to apples, obviously. So we have currently, in the current year budget, we had planned to spend up to $45,000 on a cruiser, and $40,000 in fiscal year '23. So kind of like to see, do we want to try to cancel the Charger and get the Explorer instead? Get the Charger, try to resell it, which, I mean, I think given the demand for cars, we might be able to, or they might just let us cancel it because they have another police agency that would want it.
Or
So-
just a person.
Yeah, so, of course, we got it at fleet price, so it's very reasonably priced.
So we're scheduled to buy another one next year, next fiscal year.
Right after July 1st, and we would want to, and I mean,
I think we should get both of them. One that, in this
So,
fiscal year.
but
and
he
then
says he
two-
doesn't want the
Well,
Charger,
yeah,
it's
but-
low.
So I understand that, but
You're
so
thinking it's
then
hard to get.
we buy 2 Interceptors right now, once we can get them. You know, I mean, things that, in these times,
Things aren't getting cheaper for one.
things aren't getting cheaper and they're getting a lot harder to find. I mean, if you want an F-250 right now, you're on your own. Ford is not taking orders. So,
Can we cancel the other one?
that's what I'm unsure about. I didn't want to mention it to the dealership at this point until we sort of decided where we're going to go. I have not told them that we're considering that we don't want it because, for those reasons.
I would agree, it's probably get rid of it, or,
So I have a question about the specs, because I'm not familiar with either of these 2 cars. Are either or both of them all-wheel drive?
Yes.
Both.
And, how much higher is the Interceptor? How much more clearance do you get?
It's the Dodge is 4.7, don't quote me on that, something like that.
Whoa,
And,
that's pretty low.
right, the Interceptor is 7.9,
versus an SUV.
right, SUV is 7.9.
It's a
Yeah.
car versus an,
That's
sedan
quite a-
versus an
A
SUV.
sports car, like that.
Yeah.
Dodge Charger.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned something about the interior space.
The interior space, you know,
Yes.
roominess, trying to, you know, if we have to put somebody in the back of that, it's just, not good.
So is it Interceptor like an Explorer? or-
Yes.
It is an
Yeah.
Explorer?
It's an Explorer.
Okay.
It's a Interceptor package.
Online,
It's just
okay.
basically, we have them now, right?
Any police
Do we have
car,
them?
they
Right.
made the Crown
Right.
Vic
Yours was-
Interceptor, the Taurus Interceptor,
Oh.
the Explorer Interceptor.
And that's what our Fords are, they're considered Interceptor.
Okay.
cruisers.
All right, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So
And
that
this
is
particular
substantially
Explorer
more.
is not a hybrid like our current one.
Which one isn't?
It's not, the one we're looking at is not a hybrid like
Oh,
the current one we
yeah.
have.
Which is good because the hybrid, it has trouble deciding whether to go electric, gas.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Sometimes you take off at the stop sign,
Yes.
and shoot you out.
Yeah, I could see where they wouldn't be good for a cruiser.
Yeah.
$6,400 a difference in price.
The fit up will be similar, so,
Right.
so it's just a matter of
So we're
$6,400.
saying that what is the fit up? I mean, we got 45 in the budget for this year, right?
Correct.
So
It's about
34 and 64 is 40. Fit up's more than $5,000.
Well,
Between 5 and 10.
yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't get the current Explorer lettered and it was 6, I believe, so
Yeah, that's
you
what I
say
figured it'd be around
7,500
It's
bucks.
the lettering and everything else.
So
Yeah.
call it 8,000 probably.
I mean, I'm all about, I believe, if it matters, that there's $6,400 worth of value in getting to Ford over the Charger.
It would be a little bit silly for the police to be stuck in the mud somewhere.
Dragon.
Embarrassing.
you have to take your
Well,
Yeah.
your
it's ineffective, you can't
You're right.
get there.
to get work done outside of.
Right, and going to
Ford dealerships
Burlington every
are
time you
hard.
need something.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with making the switch. How to do that, I think Casey's probably the best, we want to do it the best way we can.
Well, so that would be the thing, do you want me to try to cancel the Dodge Charger and just
What do we
get?
lose? We don't know.
We don't have a deposit or anything, I mean.
We don't lose anything.
We don't really have a signed contract, other than the fact that
An
Aaron
email.
had signed the build sheet and we told him in an email, yeah, we're gonna move
I
forward,
don't believe,
but
In
my
this day
guess
and
is they're
age,
not gonna be too
they'll find a
concerned
place
about
for
it.
that car.
that's kind of
So
what I
you
was.
get, cancel it.
They'll find a home for it.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll
Get
find
rid
a
of
home
it.
for
Yeah.
it.
We
I
don't
mean,
want it.
things are
So,
scarce.
okay, so, yeah, I can certainly.
And
reach
so
out
do we
and
need
try
a
do
motion to
that.
do that, cancel that, and to move forward with the,
Yep, to purchase the,
so I'll make the
Ford
motion that
Interceptor.
we cancel the Dodge Charger and switch to the Ford Explorer Interceptor
I think so.
second, Kaylee? Yep, thanks.
Oh, and
Is that what you
that's
said?
the second, even though I didn't let you finish.
Nope, I was grasping, so.
All right, any
Make
more
the switch.
discussion on the cars?
Can you make the motion specific to like purchase the Ford Interceptor
Ford
for
Inter-
$34,435 plus fit up?
Yes, I
Yes,
can make it
please.
exactly that.
Type it out.
Feel free to type it up. I'll swear to it.
All right, that's
Let's
great.
vote on this and then I got something else.
So we got any more discussion on that?
Well, not on this particular one, but what about planning for next year?
Okay, so hang on, Wiz, that's
I
something.
just want to throw this out, that somebody who was fairly new to town a few years ago said to me in the course of a larger conversation that the first impression when he first saw the Hardwick police vehicles, he thought, wow, that looks like an occupying force. That the whole look of the vehicles is not very, well, it was sort of off-putting. I don't know what the alternative is to that, but it's one of those comments that has just kind of stuck with me and rattled around, and so I guess I'm requesting that you look at the vehicles with sort of new eyes and see if, you know.
I disagree.
I can speak to that.
They all
Wait,
look
I want
like
to speak
that.
first.
You can speak first.
I want to say that I
I'm gonna
love
stay
that they
quiet.
look like that.
Yeah,
Because
me too.
somehow, my eye finds that when I'm going too fast.
It's self-defense for you.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway.
Then it's working.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly what it's supposed to do.
Without anybody having to like move.
Get out of the car.
Right.
And if we're
I slow down.
If we're a pastel blue, you wouldn't take it seriously.
If it were a pastel blue Prius, I would not notice it. But if it has that look, I don't even know what the look is.
Oh, no, somebody's driving around in one right now, it isn't a cruiser, and it's got the look, and it's, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Move
Opie
on.
can talk.
No, I don't think I'm gonna go there.
Yeah, no.
Because yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
I think it's good.
There's been some
I like-
different
I like
colors.
the
All in
look.
favor?
Yeah.
Yes, all right, we have
Yeah.
a motion on the floor, so,
Yes.
And a second.
and a second. All in favor of, switching to the Ford Explorer Interceptor for some amount I can't quite read?
34,435. Plus
Please
fit
say-
out.
please say aye.
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 All right. So now Danny's saying maybe we should buy two, but I don't know how that fits in.
Well,
our
we've got one scheduled.
Well, we
No,
have
no.
to just buy after July 1st. They have a fair amount of them on their lot right now,
Yeah.
so there's definitely a possibility that we could get this one now for the fiscal year, and then
That's what I'm
they
saying.
could reserve one for us that we could purchase after July 1st in the new fiscal year.
That's what I'm saying, at least
Reserve it?
approach that question, and if we've got one scheduled 2 months away, we should be thinking about it.
Yeah, because this thing just dragged out for almost a year, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We still don't know where it's at, really.
Yeah,
No,
no,
it
it
doesn't
was,
matter
it was
anymore.
going on a
No,
thing.
so
to
anyway,
the
just,
north.
my only comment was
Yeah,
to.
to figure
let's
out if
plan
we
for
could
next-
reserve one.
Otherwise, here quick.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. It will be here pretty quick.
Can we, for the sake of Lana's time, can we go
Yes.
back to item 2 and just let Lana speak real quick?
Hi, Lena. Could you just introduce yourself and
Yeah, absolutely.
your interest in recreation in Hardwick?
Yeah, sure. My name is Lana Lawson. Some people know me, some people don't. Grew up locally, live locally. I work at the Hardwick Health Center as a nurse. I usually work at Connie's Kitchen on some weekends as well. Have been involved in the community for quite some time, just doing other community service work. I want to be a part of the recreation committee to help better our community, do more things that include multiple families, not just certain, families in our community, just broaden it up for everybody and help everybody embrace our community and make it better.
Great.
And that's why I want to be there.
Thank you.
Well, you're there.
I'm there, oh yeah.
We already wanted you, so,
Thank you for coming in, though.
yeah, appreciate it. All right. All
Thank you
right,
guys.
great. I'm gonna move us, where are we? To item 7, select board to discuss declaration of inclusion and inclusion week.
Kaylee will need to lead the discussion on that, but there's 2 packets there, and I had put that in your folder with some
Yeah, I saw it
information.
in our folder, yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention there are a bunch of different things going on, just speaking for the equity committee. So Robert Murray and a couple people from the Declaration of Inclusion group actually came to talk to the equity committee last month. And so they walked us through the Declaration of Inclusion and some of the projects that they're working on, as well as the inclusion statement that Bill Scott approved last year. And we had a conversation about our own equity resolution and how it fits into this project. And basically what they're asking for is they are trying to get as many towns as possible, the goal is all towns in the state of Vermont, to either have their own declaration of inclusion or equity or to sign on to their declaration. So essentially what we talked to them about is having the town of Hardwick say that that our equity resolution is in alignment with this declaration of inclusion so that we can be listed as one of the towns that supports this project. It doesn't mean that we would reapprove a new declaration. We would basically continue to use our equity resolution, which the select board already approved, and just say that yes, the select board is fine with having the town of Hardwick be one of the towns that's listed on this. So that's what we were bringing to the select board.
Yeah, because it's very similar. The declaration is very similar to the one that our resolution that we already have.
Right, so we're
Page
gonna
5.
be with ours, right?
So we just keep ours and we
Yep,
say yes
exactly.
to being on the list
But then
of
we can be on
towns.
this.
Right.
So what do we need to do?
Correct.
Do we need to make a motion
All we need to
to,
do. Yep.
yeah,
Kaylee, what do we
You
want to
go
say?
ahead.
I could make a motion.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
I can move to have the town of Hardwick be added to the list of towns listed at the month under the Declaration of Inclusion.
Great.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Kaylee?
Aye.
All right, that's everyone.
Aye.
Excellent. Thank you.
Just so the only other thing the only other discussion point is, there also is, the city of Vermont is working on a inclusion week, where there will be a lot of events, I assume they're going to be online. It's May 9th is that week. I also wanted to mention that the Equity Committee is in the process of hiring the Peace and Justice Center to offer a training the end of May. And then we're also talking, I'm going to be reaching out, so one thing I forgot to talk to you today about will be is reaching out to have a specific municipal conversation with the Peace and Justice Center as well, which is one of the things that was highlighted as a to-do in our resolution. So we're talking about having a kind of broader community opportunity that obviously select board members and the employees are invited to the end of May, but then also having a specific, probably 1 hour conversation about inclusion as it relates to municipal bodies. So I will update all of you as we figure those things out.
Great, thank you. All right, so next is item 8, brief follow-up discussion. This again says brief, I love it. On the wastewater treatment facility upgrade project going out to bid. I assume this is to you, Mr. Upson. That was a groan.
People. Thought we were in a good place for this one.
Oh, it's coming up on the screen.
Okay. So when we presented this last week, this $1.2 million, let me try to make it a little bit bigger.
That'd be great.
So this 600 and 600 is sludge disposal for Lagoon 1 and Lagoon 2.
Yeah.
I was not aware that that did not include trucking and disposal cost.
What?
That's just the dewatering.
You're kidding.
Yeah, no, I wish we were.
I thought,
So,
did you know that? I don't think I knew that.
That's the bill for Paul Senesac and disposal fee, not the trucking.
Okay, so it is the disposal.
Yes.
So is trucking in here somewhere or not?
well, so what happens is then the scenario that we presented at the last meeting and wanted to move forward with has since changed because we can't put in as much capital because we have to save some of that capital for the trucking and disposal. So I made a note here that we need to save probably around $400,000 of our capital for trucking and disposal. Right now we have like maybe $460 in there, so it's going to use up most of our sewer capital. So what happens is then we would have to borrow the full 2.2, as well as eat up all of our capital. So
What does that do to rates?
Or
$233 a year, to call it $60 a quarter.
$233 a year increase? Ouch, right?
yeah.
Kind of, yeah. So
That's
it's,
on top of what we already increased.
right, this is just for the bond payment, right?
233 means $2.33?
No.
No, $233.
$233 a year increase just
Like,
for
because
this.
basically we're just taking that payment and dividing it by the number of users.
Per
and so-
ratepayer.
Yes.
$60 a quarter.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
roughly $60 a quarter more, because we would have to go to the full 2.2.
So, if we go to, down the options, what's the trucking, so if we go to column 1 or 2 there, Lagoon 1 with the alternatives, then we would be borrowing 1.2 million
For scenario 2, yes.
for
Yes.
scenario 2.
So Lagoon
But
1
what
would
how much of our capital would our trucking would be half as much as well, right? It'd be
Right.
200K then, so.
I didn't do too much playing around with the other scenarios because we thought we were trying to do the whole project, so I focused on
Yeah.
that, but I could certainly,
Well, I
put some
just was-
numbers.
yeah,
But
but-
ultimately, that trucking and disposal, we're gonna have to pay out of our, outside of this project. Another probably
Why?
400,000.
Why? Since it is part of the project.
Because can be considered a small purchase, so it would have to go through the Davis-Bacon process, the bidding.
Yep.
And Wayne, or Ulrich and Elliott felt that it would be easier for us to find a better price on trucking.
Right, it would be a national bid at that point.
Right.
When you go to Davis-Bacon, it's a national bid, so.
There's quite a few different things with, cleaning out lagoons, whether we do one, whether we do two, like in sequence, but then we still have to handle.
Right.
It might just be wise to put this out to bid and see where the bids come back, because a lot of these numbers are a year old.
I think the numbers are gonna be substantially higher on that.
I do too.
I had, the fuel costs for the generator for the dewatering alone were estimated at 50,000. And Paul said it might be cheaper for us to put in temporary power to run the dewatering equipment, and it might cost us 25,000 to do that. So we could save some money there, so.
Sounds like we're back to planning.
Because of
Yeah.
fuel costs. I had a meeting with a couple people from rural development. I don't know of there are other options of funding, but Ulrich and Elliott are tapped into those. And there's a ton of projects just waiting for funding.
So in this scenario, it even shows this pollution control grant, which wasn't even something we talked about originally.
That's new funding.
Right, it's roughly 10% of the project, so that number of 402 could change, like if it was more or less, but we're likely to get that because we're sort of on the list for that. But yeah, even with that, it's, and I mean, we can add the additional 75,000 that the select board can authorize, but again, that's just a higher payment for the annual payment if we add that. And so I kind of tried to keep it at the 2.2, but basically it pretty much drains our capital and is like a full loan amount. Whereas when we went in, the bond was 2.2, but we were gonna get a 40% subsidy, so we're gonna have a loan payment on 1.3. And now we'd actually have a loan payment on the 2.2. We're still getting subsidies of, close to $1.3 million, but it's now a $4.1 million endeavor, so.
And I just look at that 233 increase and then compare it to like an average bill and a quarterly bill. So that's like adding a fifth quarter, really, on the ballpark of doing that.
Right, and so that is.
Doubling it, what is it now?
It doesn't count, what's our sewer rate quarterly, base rate?
For residential,
119, so it would
For
go
a
up
quarter?
$60.
per quarter for
So
residential.
So adding
120 to 180. Well, and then again, this is just for this. This doesn't count like other
Right.
increases
Things
that we have
that we're
for
going to-
other operating costs, which.
And these
to
are old
increase-
numbers.
And these are old numbers on top.
They're not,
It's gotta be the
they're
best.
not that old,
Right.
but their
Put it in my calendar.
timing is everything these days,
I had
so.
a $275,000 project 2 months ago.
Right.
And I got a new price today, and it was $307,000. It's
Yeah.
gone up $25,000.
Right.
In 2 months.
In 2 months.
And they're also predicting, which this kind of throws some thinking into it, that spreading this project over the course of 2 construction seasons. That's what's gonna happen because of supply chain.
Yeah.
And there are other funding sources out there,
So
but we might not get them, right? Is that what you're kind
I mean, the likelihood of other funds becoming available are pretty good. So maybe we do one lagoon, I don't know, getting into that again.
It sounds like we really need to get it out to bid so that we have some new, so that we really know the numbers that we're looking at, and then we can do exactly what you're saying and figure out what we can pay for with what we have for the next two years. But if we wait any longer to get it out to bid, it's probably just gonna get higher and higher, right?
Can we bid it with, bid it for one lagoon with an add alternate of another lagoon kind of thing, so that we can see the pricing?
Sure. I can pose that.
I mean, it just seems like it might be.
Well, if we had
good
a
to
couple
know.
of choices, it's gonna be a very difficult decision. I don't know how to see
Yeah, that was
it.
my question to you, Eric, is if we could, I don't know if it's possible to bid out, if it's possible to bid out scenario 2 and scenario 4, or ask the bid be itemized in a way where we could make a decision about the lagoons if need be.
So you're thinking lagoon number 1 only with additional alternatives, and that, so like she said, scenarios 2 and 4, if we were able to bid those 2 options?
I almost would say do scenario 1 and then do an add alternate, which is the group of the add alternates we had before, and then another add alternate of lagoon, also adding lagoon 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's essentially this.
It looks like
That's
the
2
same
and
thing.
4.
It's 2 and 4,
Yeah.
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 That's essentially 2 and 4.
Oh, because 2 already has, if you
Has the add
retain the
alternates, right,
alternate
yeah. So that's-
parts, you could bump
that's 2 and
those
4.
out, yeah.
I mean, I think that's what we need to see. But. Yes,
I
so,
mean, maybe if we send those out to bid, then we can have another conversation about the rates, because that's, we already made significant changes last year. I'm pretty worried about adding so much more to those rates. But maybe we can have, while we're waiting for bids to come back, we can have an additional conversation about how to handle that.
One thing that we'll have to consider is that what we'll need to do is, since we'll have such a large payment and so many of these improvements will have been made, if the project, can get everything done, is that we would have to reserve a lot less for just our regular capital funds. So we won't be able to
For a
build it up.
while. Yeah,
for a
'cause everything's
while.
gonna be new.
Right, so we wouldn't be able to build it up. We're gonna kind of run it down with trucking and disposal, and then we would, maybe only put like 30,000 in a year, 40,000 because of that huge payment.
But everything will be new theoretically.
Right, and
So
so
we wouldn't need
we
it
wouldn't
in-
need to
in the
set
same-
aside as
So-
much capital, so that
well,
would,
everything at the plant's new, so you got other infrastructure that could.
Yeah, there's still
What
100-year-old
is,
infrastructure into the
everywhere,
streets.
yeah, so I would want to know, or I don't know, and maybe it's already been talked about. So if we do alternate 1 or scenario number 2 with the adult, what does that buy us for time before we need to do the other lagoon? Does it buy us a year? Does it buy us 5 years?
I think what we would do in that case is we would be looking to do lagoon number 2 in a year or 2, and we'd be watching for funding for it would just be like, that project still
But you'd wanna
exists.
know, right, but you'd wanna know that we have 5 years. If we're only gonna
We
gain
don't-
2 years,
we
then
don't-
I don't know if it's worthy of it. But if it's gonna gain us 5 to 10 years to try to do lagoon 2, that gives us a little more time to pay down this.
I don't think it's so much about paying down as much as looking for
For
more
funding,
grant
right.
funding, more outside funding.
So either way, we have a priority right now, we need to do something, right? Correct?
We need, yeah,
And
and
if we do-
unfortunately,
if we
both
do
those
half the
liners are the
job-
same age.
Right, if
so
we do
don't know
half the
which one-
job, what does that buy us? If it doesn't buy us
We don't
any
know.
security, right, so that tells me then we should do both.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If we're not getting some sort
We
of,
could do one and then have the other one that we didn't do fail.
and then
Yes.
we're borrowing all the money,
Yeah.
because it's running into the wall.
Then we're
Yeah.
in the fund balance because we have to figure out how to do it right now.
So if we did the whole project and we only did one lagoon this summer. We could add funding to that contract, or no? That's a question.
That is a question. I don't know the answer.
We could
I
talk
don't
to
know the
Tom
question.
Brown about that at the state.
Like if they're willing to,
Right.
so.
If it's
this-
gonna go over 2
if this-
construction years
exactly.
anyway.
2 budget years.
Yeah,
2 budget years, he's asking, can we go find more funding to
Yeah.
fund it?
Right.
If we already have a contract in place?
Right.
That's a question maybe for Aldrich and Elliott.
yeah.
That's a great question.
I mean, I'm hearing that the governor is trying to, you know, they're pawning this money to help water quality in Vermont everywhere.
Right.
This is a water quality, you know, they're
Should we raise our
giving
hand?
grants.
How do we raise our hand?
Well,
I
they're
think our hand
giving,
has been raised.
yes, and I'm sure Aldrich and Elliott are poking.
It's waving.
But it's a time, but it's the time to be doing that, you know, it's a time to
Yeah.
be banging on the door right now.
And if we, I think you're right. I think Kaylee's right. Let's get this out to bid. See where the bids come back. If it's gonna be over the course of 2 construction seasons. Well, the question is, we can look for more funding and get the project rolling.
Well, the only downside to that is generally the bond bank wants to see that the project is whole before they're going to. So, I mean, yes, there's maybe the option to get money to do additional sludge removal or something like that, but they need to see that all the funding is lined up for everything that we plan to do.
Right.
Well, they're gonna have to get used to different stuff.
That's right, yeah, well put.
I'll just
Hard
throw,
to- Yeah.
I'll just throw the idea that if it is possible that if we have an actual failure and we have sludge running into the Lamoille, maybe the urgency of funding Hardwick would be higher.
Well, it would be, but I don't wanna be there.
No, I don't really either.
I don't think we're that. I
No,
don't think we're that.
No, but I don't wanna
We
spend our
had some
water on one
sludge, we
lagoon and
spent
then
a couple
have that
$100,000
happen.
last summer, so we
I know.
did have some removed, so, I mean, I know it's still, yeah.
We have had a liner rip in
Yes,
the
we
not
have.
too distant past too, because they're old.
So, we're gonna put it out to bid.
Are
do
you,
more
are you
research.
just thinking that we would try to do options 2 and 4 in the bid process? Is that what you're hoping for? If we can do that, I mean, I think we can.
I'm not interested in doing half of it if there's not some,
It's a gamble, right? If you
Incredible.
only do one of the lagoons, the other one still has an old liner, which could fail.
right.
But on the other hand, if we do a project with just one lagoon, and then meanwhile, we wait for more funding to become available
right.
to line up the next, as soon as the funding's available, we're ready to go with Lagoon 2, because it's already been
Right.
designed,
But
engineered.
if Lagoon 1 is $40 increase and doing them both is a $60 increase,
Then we
need
have to
both.
consider, yeah.
Because there are some
Yeah.
costs in here that we
Yeah,
do save
yeah.
by doing everything
Yeah,
in one
yeah,
project once.
yeah.
Not only,
Yeah.
that's how we're gonna get a bond, is doing the whole project.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we just need to look at
Yeah.
those 2 figures and, I mean, if it's 30 and 60, that's, doesn't matter, but if it's 40, 60, then that's a big deal.
But we
'Cause
have
these
to be
costs aren't
dealing
gonna
with
go
real
away.
numbers, so we need
Yeah.
to put it out to bid.
I
Yeah,
definitely don't wanna pay any more for sewer, but these costs are not gonna go away, and the problem isn't gonna go away, so, do it, get it done.
Okay?
get some bid prices and see what they look like. All right.
Okay.
I'm not sure that qualified as brief, but it was necessary. All right, item 9, police, the select board to consider approving banner application for Circus Smirkus to be hung on Wolcott Street, June 25th to July 2nd and August 6th to the 14th for the 2 big top circuses.
We approved a couple of banners a
Yep.
couple weeks ago. Do these conflict?
No, there's actually 2 places to hang because
Right.
the farmer's market is gonna have one all summer, so they'll have one spot. And then the other one you approved was in October for the craft fair, so we're all
Right.
set.
Right.
Yeah, we're tracking those, so there isn't, but there are 2 spaces anyway.
Make a motion that we approve the Circus Smirkus banner hanging.
Second?
All in favor? Oh wait, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Was that an aye, Kaylee?
Yep.
All right, that's everybody, thank you. Item 10, Select Board to authorize town manager to enter into a contract with Carrington Community Development Services LLC to be the Downtown Commission's consultant for municipal planning grant, total not to exceed $23,250.
She's already started working, so we need to approve the contract.
I'm sorry, what?
She's got a contract that is gonna fulfill all of the deliverables that were desired in the municipal planning grant.
I
That's what
move
she's
that we authorize the town manager to enter into contract with Carrington Community Development Services to be the Downtown Commission's consultant for municipal planning, not to exceed $23,250.
I know nothing about this, but I guess about time to. Go ahead.
Say second.
No, I'm not seconding it, absolutely not.
I will second it.
There we go, so now we got a second. So, did somebody explain it to us? So this is generally, well, you explain it to us.
Downtown Commission was formed back in June. We've been working to, toward the goal of downtown designation application. We were advised by NBDA that the best way to do this is to get a consultant who knows how to do it. And so we wrote that municipal planning grant, which is funding this consultant to help us develop the 5-year strategic plan, create the nonprofit organization with the downtown group for economic development, and do the full, all the rest of the steps in the application process to the state for the downtown designations.
Yeah.
We interviewed 4 different, Opie was invited to be involved and was there for all the interviews of the different consulting firms. The RFQ went out, they sent proposals in. We interviewed 4 different ones, and then we selected this person. Heather Carrington is in Winooski, and she's done this process before with other downtowns, so
Great,
we're excited to move forward.
Yeah.
excellent. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Ah, got it. That's everyone, thank you. Motion carries. Next, item 11 is Select Board to consider appointing Andrew Force as a Hardwick police officer. I know you guys have been interviewing, so sound
Full-time?
Full-time.
Full-time certified?
No, he's in the academy.
He's in the academy right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Gonna be full-time.
No,
Yeah.
but in it now.
he's in already. He's doing very well.
Where's he from?
He's from
Lancaster.
Lancaster.
So,
Yeah.
Nice. Great.
yeah, good, great, good.
So we need to,
How do you do that? Make a motion to appoint
yes, Andrew Force.
Andrew Force as a Hardwick police officer.
Second?
Any discussion, more discussion?
He signs, all of you.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that's everybody, thank you. Moving on, item 12, ARPA, which is American Rescue
Plan Act.
Plan Act, public hearings, and taking the standard allowance.
Okay, so I can take lead on this. So, public hearings are not required, but are considered a best practice.
Yeah.
I attended another webinar just earlier this week. So I had put some materials in your thing about, so basically the guidance that, VLCT and all these webinars has said, anybody that gets less than $10 million, take the standard allowance, because it just provides much more flexibility for us, because then it can be used for government services. It can, so it just really, and we have only one opportunity to take that. So for
I think we need to do that.
the April 30th deadline is approaching. We have to go in and report our spending, which we don't have any, but it's our only time that we can say, yes, we want to
Yeah.
take the standard allowance approach.
Could we have
And-
can we deal with that? Could we have a motion to say we want to take the standard allowance for the ARPA funds?
I move we take the standard allowance from the ARPA fund.
Second.
Any more discussion about standard allowance?
Can you just reference the amount, which is $855, $227.40? I actually put, there's a motion.
Oh, there's a motion,
specifically.
yes.
The recommended language for that was on the second page of that.
I move that the town of
Thank you.
Hardwick make the one-time irrevocable decision to elect the standard allowance approach to our ARPA award in the amount of $855,227.40 to spend on the provision of government services throughout the period of performance of the grant.
Perfect. Now do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any more discussion about taking the standard allowance for ARPA? All in favor, please say aye.
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 And
Got it. Thank you.
And then hearings, deciding when and where you might want to hold hearings, if you're going to hold hearings. As I said, it's not a requirement, just a best practice recommendation.
The neighbor-to-neighbor meetings were not, that's not a focus, but it will be discussed.
Okay.
So I think due to the time frame of the wastewater plant project and that, I think it'd be fair to hold at least one public hearing prior to one of our select board meetings.
Maybe prior to the next select board meeting? Is that good?
When are the neighbor-to-neighbor, have they been scheduled?
June.
So it seems like we should let that happen and then have the ARPA hearing after that, don't you
Okay.
think? Doesn't that make sense?
Well-
Like, because the conversation can,
Could they serve two purposes? The neighbor to neighbor.
well,
I think it needs to be done sooner than later because in the wastewater proposal, there was a proposal of using some ARPA money for that, a pretty big chunk of it. So if we're gonna put this out to bid right away, which Aldridge and Elliott was just waiting for us to say, yes, go ahead, then there has to be some sort of decision and we have to be able to say, yes, we are committing that much ARPA money or we're lowering it and changing it. And that's the only thing about that.
There's been some
I
requests.
agree with Casey.
Yeah, myself, agree.
So we could do like we could do like a 5 or 5:30 and we'll heavily publicize it. We'll put it on Front Porch Forum. We'll put it everywhere. We'll start now and say this is, so we can try to get some attendance, get the word out.
And flip our calendar.
strangely, I had,
That would be our two main meetings.
2 May meetings. Like, are you thinking doing 2 hearings?
Well, if we had half an hour before our regular meetings in May, or are you thinking a special meeting?
No, I think half an hour or 45 minutes before a meeting is fine. I just don't think we want to wait too long on it, just because at some point, there's going to have to be sort of a commitment on how much of that ARPA money would be used for the wastewater project.
well, why don't we do it the next meeting and then the next, I'd like to see us do 2, but because it's a whole half an hour. To give people 2 opportunities to
Yeah.
show up.
So that's the
For that half an hour
21st.
before.
April 21st and May 5th.
Doesn't that seem
Yep.
like that could be okay?
Sounds good.
Do you want to
it.
do like a 5:15 or a 5:30?
5:30.
5:30.
Okay.
5:30, I'm just thinking about the sort of snafu that we had with our pre-town meeting thing.
Yeah.
And, just be nice to have 2 opportunities, just in case
Yep.
we have problems again,
Sure.
or people just need to have a little more time to plan for one or the other.
And I'm aware of a lot of resistance to the idea of spending the ARPA money on the wastewater district. And so I wondered if whoever has this, Tanya, I don't know if this is you or if this is Casey, could figure out on a per capita basis, what's the proportion of the number of people who are ratepayers, or the number of households who are ratepayers, and take that proportion and figure out what that comes to out of the ARPA 800 and whatever $1,000, so that we know that if we put this to it, it is proportional to the people who are in the district who are the ratepayers, and they're not getting more of that than is fair.
Danny?
No. Because we should be educating the non-ratepayers to the importance of the wastewater plant for the function of the town of Hardwick as a whole. Even though you may not be a ratepayer, you are benefiting from that wastewater plant in a huge way, and Hardwick won't exist without that wastewater plant. The actual service I pay for, but the utility of the wastewater plant that is utilized for every business in town is everybody's. So we need to start educating people that it's not just the ratepayers that benefit from this wastewater plant. This is the entire community's wastewater plant.
What's the problem with getting the numbers?
I don't care, you can get the numbers, excuse me, but I didn't even know you couldn't get the numbers, but that should be, the focus should be on educating people to the importance of the wastewater plant, not trying to prove to them that they're getting their share.
I don't disagree with you, but I think having the numbers there makes it easier to talk about.
I think the numbers are going to show us the opposite of that, because that's going to give them feel that, you know, that we're getting more than our share as a ratepayer.
Well,
Once again, we're splitting ratepayers and taxpayers.
Another part of the education is that, you know, having that understanding, much like I pay for the schools in Hardwick, though I have no children, there's still a good reason to do that.
Right.
So there, you know.
Along those lines, absolutely, that's what I'm saying.
You know.
Yeah.
I think whatever information that we have, it's good to bring to the table.
Yeah, I'm not against the information, I just, the focus needs to be to
That philosophy or.
positive here of what the wastewater plant does for everyone. Because I've heard too, I don't get the sewer system, so I don't want to pay a dime for it. Well, it's not true.
Kaylee?
Sorry, Kaylee.
I also wonder if, so in the current wastewater budget that Casey just gave us, option 2 was using $400,000 of the ARPA funds. Option 4 was using $500,000 of the ARPA funds. That still leaves a significant amount left in what we're getting as a town. So I wonder if the meetings that we have, if you could frame it in a way that is, this is the importance of investing in this wastewater project that the town's already invested in, all of the town residents have invested in terms of the bond. I mean, the ratepayers are paying them back, but all the town people voted on the bond, not just the ratepayers. So we've already invested in that way. I wonder if I think it's important for those meetings, the ARPA meetings, to have information on the wastewater project and how ARPA funds would fit in. And then basically say, if our goal as a select board is to put, whether it's 500, 600, or the whole amount of the ARPA funds towards that project, I think it might behoove us to say, you know, this is what we would like to budget for ARPA, this is how it fits into the goals of this funding from the feds and the state. That allows us this extra $250,000, whatever it is, where we want to be putting that into other projects. What are some projects that the community is thinking about? Maybe a way to do both and have, I do think it's important to have that time, that half hour be semi-facilitated, and just in a way that, you know, I don't know who's going to show up to that meeting, or I know that some people reach out to me about some projects. But what I'm a little nervous about is suddenly having 30 random projects and then not really knowing which ones to fund outside of the wastewater project because they're not, I don't know how much it's going to help us. So if we're able to kind of facilitate that in a way where we're taking the feedback from the community and then actually able to say, you know, these are the 3 projects that we've heard about, and this is how we're going to fund them through these funds. I think that would be helpful. I don't know if that's just something that the town manager's office should think about in terms of how to solicit that feedback from the town. But I do think we need to step forward at those meetings and say that part of what we're talking about as a select board, which we have been since the beginning, is funding our wastewater project with ARPA funds, and this is why.
Yep. Well, I think the meeting, the community input forums should be just that. I mean, they should be us listening to community input. I don't think we're gonna be deciding anything then. So, you're right that people, I mean, it's possible that people show up with 30 different projects to fund, and that's fine, we can listen to that.
So we should decide, if we're gonna be taking ideas or presenting
I think-
testimony why we're gonna spend it. Those are two different things.
Well, I think.
If we're gonna defend spending it on the, on the wastewater plant versus listening to people's ideas, those are two entirely different things.
I think we have two things, I think, well, three even. I think one is just, we should probably start with an introduction of what the ARPA funds are, where they came from, how they, just briefly, how they had a lot of restrictions at first, and then with this, the recent change to be able to spend them on municipal activities, it's a lot more open what we can spend them on. We had been planning since before when it was restricted, and the sewer plant was the only thing that fit the definition of what we could spend. We've been planning some of that money, sometimes all of that money, now it's only some of that money on the sewer plant. So we ought to talk about that and why that's important to the whole community. And then say, and there's still a balance left after that. We still want input for what's important to the community. And we should probably also list the other projects that are ongoing that are underfunded. So we have a pedestrian bridge that's broken, that we think we have money for, but the costs have been going up like crazy. Maybe some of this money, we have that. We have, I don't know, we have a lot of projects.
The library.
Project, we have the townhouse project, we have lots of projects that are.
For the town garage.
Town garage, it's a
Well-
huge project.
Yeah,
Lots of stuff, so we should
the rescue thing.
rescue, right.
Yeah,
So we should say, they're already projects.
right.
But we should probably lay out what projects we have briefly, and then just open it, see if there's public support for our list.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And also just listen if people wanna say, there's this other thing too.
I think the listening point is really, really important.
Yep, let's do it. See you in fact.
This is great.
Okay. We are down
So
to,
start spreading the word that we're gonna have these
Spread the word.
at 5:30 for the next two meetings.
Yeah.
And I'll start getting notices up and front porch postings like once or twice a week, and we'll get it out there.
and I know I missed last time, but you gave an update on the projects, the list of projects. So maybe I'll get with you and try to just put together a quick PowerPoint or something that we could use as a lead-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have that down.
Right.
So we don't stumble right out there.
Right.
Stumble right out in through the door. Yep,
Good.
good work.
All right, select board reports, new business, old business. What do we got? I got one.
Go ahead, you go first.
Mine's not very fun.
No.
Along the lines of projects that are expensive. We opened bids for the Yellow Barn project Monday afternoon, right? And after soliciting bids from 10 general contractors who had expressed interest and advertising generally to the world as much as we could, we opened exactly one bid.
Wow.
However, that bid for the general contractor underneath, when you get down into it, they had solicited bids from a lot of subcontractors. So each of the trades involved, there were 5 or 6 subcontractors bidding and apparently a bunch of local folks, so that's all good. But the bad news is the bid was way over our budget.
Like half again. Right, it was.
No more than that.
What was?
I mean, can't we tell them the numbers?
Yeah.
So the budget,
So it was,
the budget is,
it was a it's roughly 10 million with a $2 million buffer.
Yep.
And the bids came in at 19 million, so 6 million roughly over budget.
Can we ask the contractor, or is that something?
So so basically this is late breaking news,
Yeah.
right? So Monday the bids open, we didn't get the detailed breakdown until late Wednesday, yesterday. And then we had a meeting this morning with the play, so it's like ongoing and we're just trying to find a path forward and it might, so there's a we thought we can work with this contractor, maybe we can, maybe there are a bunch of ideas, but maybe there's an opportunity to break it into 2 contracts, which would allow for more federal funding that wouldn't mix with existing federal money anyway.
Yeah, well, at this point, it doesn't really, but it's not, we're not gonna be able to reduce the cost enough to make it work, so you need to find some more funding.
So, I mean, given everything we know about construction right now, I think that's right. I mean, I think that just things have gotten really expensive. And the other bad part, and this is probably gonna be true for all our stuff, not just this project, but there were parts of that where they said that they were only able to obtain 10-day pricing.
But, yeah, 10 days is a long time right now.
So,
Literally, it is true. There's people that wouldn't even give you 10 days. It's
right.
like,
You
that
can buy
cash
it.
register rings right now, this is what it costs you.
Right.
Sorry, I'd like to help you about. Because, these people are all middlemen are getting the same treatment from their end.
So I'm a little concerned about the
I'm
Hopeton
concerned that
Library.
everything we do this summer
Everything.
is gonna be that way.
Everything
costs
paving,
are
yeah,
gonna
Tom
be
said
stupid.
paving is gonna come with
It's
a,
gonna be twice as expensive.
Yeah.
As
Gonna
it
come with
was
caveat.
last
And
year.
we'll get half as much done.
right.
Right.
So we gotta be really
Well,
choosy at.
Yes, if you're gonna
Yes.
prioritize stuff, and as a town, there's things that we have to do, so like paving, we're gonna do half as much. But there's things like the Yellow Barn project that.
You can't do half of it,
Can't do half of it.
because the funders are all in saying, no, we wanna fund the entire
So
project,
that's
not half of
gonna
it.
be difficult, and I mean, there's a lot of projects like that.
Well, in the sewer
Swinging
project we
bridge.
just talked about, does it
Swinging
make
bridge
sense to do
project.
half of it?
Nope.
Yeah, so, well, we can't fix any of that, so.
So there was a little bit of good news.
Good.
Yay!
So on the winter placemaking grant that I wrote with ARPA for the downtown, for the lighting and the multicolored lights and then the white lights and wiring the poles, Casey actually found somebody an electrician that will do it for a little less than we had budgeted.
Oh, nice.
And they're maybe gonna start when?
Possibly next week if the weather
Yeah.
permits.
We're doing a
They're coming-
walkthrough tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're gonna get our winter placemaking before May, maybe.
Wow.
Before the end of winter,
So, yeah.
still winter.
And, yeah, so I could do that final report, yeah,
what's that?
before it's like 80 degrees.
Except for that one pole.
Except for that one pole, but they're maybe gonna just replace that when they do, right? And didn't you say that?
The pole?
The pole
The pole
that
got
needs to be
knocked down.
replaced is gonna get
Pole got knocked
replaced
Right across.
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, right in front of Tracy's.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
gonna be replaced at the same time as this.
Oh, awesome.
And then it's
Shouldn't
gonna get
hold back.
wired.
Done and done.
That is good news.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it
there's a
is.
little piece of good news. And the townhouse board is working with Harry Miller, contractor from Casper, I think.
Yeah.
To build a new sign. You may have noticed that the sign that's out in front of the Hardwick Townhouse looks pretty crappy. And it's sort of broken on one side, and it's peeling and stuff like that. So we're working with him to design a new marquee type sign, so we'll be able to put information about events and stuff on it.
That's a good
We'll have
idea for.
the
place that does
depot
events.
information
Good
about the Historical Society on it as well. And I
Cool.
think it's gonna be lighted,
Light.
yeah,
Wow.
so that's
Great.
coming together.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Just a ray of sunshine.
we're gonna do a little something. You know, and the banners look good.
Yeah.
Banners do look good.
And the
Yep.
second set of banners is coming. It'll have all the different organizations on it. It's coming along, not
Good.
done yet.
Excellent. Anybody else? Going once.
I'm not select board, but I don't know if we can do this under new business, but our website is now a .gov address.
Saw that. Yeah, thank you to Maya McCoy for getting us .gov domain.
So the
and,
.org will transfer over if somebody does that, but go ahead and do hardwickbt.gov. Our emails have not changed at this point, but they will in the future. But the website .gov is active and working.
Great.
Why was it not .gov from the beginning?
We couldn't get it. No.
We didn't qualify.
We didn't qualify
We're not a
before.
government?
Now we are.
We weren't.
We had to have another birthday.
I don't know how it works.
Rules change.
In
Yeah.
cyberspace,
Yeah.
we weren't a government.
Thanks, everybody, I gotta go.
Thanks, Gailey. Good night.
Good night.
Baby's awake.
That was like, I gotta go right now.
Yeah, it was. All right, well, I'd love to
Motion to
adjourn.
adjourn?
I would love to
No,
have you.
that,
You forgot something. You wanted to
Whiz.
talk about parking at the.
No, we
Oh,
we
You're all
handled it.
set? You're all
Yeah.
set with that? Okay.
isn't that nice?
That's code for we don't want Dana to know.
About parking at the
Oh,
depot.
such.
There's no,
Katie's still here.
there's no real
We'll fill you in,
at the
Dan.
depot.
We're not just
We'll fill you in. There's no
All
secret.
right.
about you.
I know, and I am.
All right, we're gonna adjourn. Thank you, everyone.
We just-
Party's over.